Hello and welcome to 360GamerCast, episode 732 for Tuesday, the 20th of May, 2025. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pierce on a D, Steam ID, Webby 360G. And joining me today is...
Back again, Darkest Frost.
And Graham, or GM Ox 14.
And Sensei Nick.
Yes, as we all know, Darren is in Japan. He actually flew out yesterday, I believe. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool indeed. So I'm looking forward to seeing some pics and stuff. Before we get started, though, guys, just want to give a big shout out to the people listening live on Twitch at the moment. So that'd be Clarky, Mr. Peebs, Frosty, and Nick. So 2 out of the 4 are on this podcast. It does say there's 7 people viewing, but it's only letting me see those. But hello to you guys. Hope you're doing well. And a big shout out to all the Patreons. You are all super duper bloody awesome. Quickly going to read you out. First names only, because I'll be here all day otherwise. Alpa, Matthew, Gavin, Zuckalyptic, Krusty Boy, Danny Brooks, James. Oh, there's 2 Jameses. There's you, Frosty, and another James. Robin, Ben, Eric, Leon, Ilmatic, Dazpoz, Craig, Paul, Jason, Ryan, John, Sean, another John, Brian, Philip, and Wes. Hope you're all doing well, and thank you very much for keeping the show going in these tough economic times. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, and we're going to get into the show pretty much straight away, I think, guys. With what we've been playing, there's been a couple of new releases this week, and I have played 2 of them. And I think most of us on the show have played one of them. So shall we get straight into the new
Very
Doom?
nicely.
Doom Dark Ages?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
To save me from talking over all of you constantly, let's get you guys' impression. Graham, you said yes, so talk to me about Doom.
I am enjoying it. I'm about 10 hours in, and I'm on chapter 17 of 22.
Jesus,
Yeah,
you've put some time in.
Yes, I've done about 10 hours. That only came out on Thursday. No, I think it's really good. I think of the previous 3, it's probably my favourite. I don't know whether anyone agrees or disagrees.
Certainly better than the second one.
Yeah, Eternal, I just hated. I
Yes, so did I.
absolutely hated. I didn't like the parkour. I thought it wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
Eternal
that's
was
exactly
the last
what
one,
put me
wasn't
off.
it? Was that last
Yeah,
one?
that was,
Did that
yeah.
come out in
Yes, it
2016?
was. No,
Has it been that long?
the first one. No, the Eternal came out. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago now? I think.
Right, okay, because I think of
So the
2016 for
second
some
one.
reason.
2016 is the original
was-
remake.
That was the
Right.
original reboot, basically.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
so I think out of the 3, for my money, out of the 3, I think it's the best so far.
Okay, interesting.
It's not quite what I thought it was.
No, for a Doom, I can't really say a lot because I've only played the first 2 chapters and I was just like, meh, I'm going back to my other game, which I'll talk about in a minute. I don't know what it is. Like, positives, I can say the graphics are fantastic. Absolutely spot on.
Smooth.
And the gameplay is very fast and fluid, like you'd expect from a Doom. However, my only negative about it is there's too much melee combat. Doom, for me, old school Doom in the olden days, 90s, the good old days, it was just shooty, bang, bang. Yeah, you had your BFG and your shotgun and your other weapons and just shot the fuck out of these creatures, and that was it. And this is quite, I wouldn't say, from my early experience, I know you could probably help me out with this. It seems quite story driven with a lot of other characters. in a way that it reminds me of, you know, when you're playing through Warhammer Space Marine and you get to areas and there's loads of goodies and you're walking through them, we're saying, hey guys, how's it going? You know, there's a little bit of that in this. I'm like, that's not Doom. Doom is all about shooting. Lots of cutscenes. It's, you know, it's all like, this seems to be, from my early impressions, more about throwing a shield around, hitting enemies with a shield and punching them more than shooting the fuck out of them. Am I wrong in my early assessment here?
I would say
It kind of evolves a little bit past that, but that is the core. That's like the core mechanic, isn't it, really?
Right.
Captain Doom Slayer America.
Pretty much, yeah.
When I said it wasn't what I was expecting, I wasn't actually expecting the blend of the medieval and the sci-fi. I thought it was going to be a Doom set in the medieval times. This actually reminds me more of a Warhammer style game with the setting.
In some places, due to the setting, it almost feels like something like a Quake to me. In some respects, do you know what I mean?
It does look a bit Quakey, actually, like with the colour tones they're using and all the green and the blue lit up icons.
Yes.
I mean, they have taken some things from the old Dooms, like you need the red keys and the blue keys, you know, etc., to open doors. But there seems to be like an upgrade pathway as well. There's these statues, and you've got to collect gold, and then you can upgrade certain aspects of your character, which isn't very Doom-like to me.
Also, occasionally in the world, you will come across, some of them are optional, and some of them you come across, and they're called empowered enemies.
Right.
So they're like super versions of regular characters, and they are harder to kill, mainly because they're kind of very much in a sort of kind of like a multiplayer sort of online shooter. The characters around them contribute to their shield, so you have to kind of kill the characters around them first to drop their shield to combat them, and they generally tend to drop a stat point which you take from them. It might be something like your ammo capacity is increased for the shotgun, your health is increased, you know, things like that. Your armor capacity will be larger. And what's quite nice is some of these are in the direct path that you'll go through. Some of them are kind of slightly off the beaten track a little bit, and you have to look for them, which I thought was quite interesting.
I don't know, it just feels a bit strange to me, because I know it's done in acts, as you go from act to act, but the areas feel quite open because there's a map that you can bring up and kind of explore around. I don't know, I mean, I'm not knocking the game because I've only played 2 acts and, you know, I think there's like 20 or something. But my initial impressions were, this isn't a Doom game that this isn't Doom that I know and love from the olden days. They've completely reimagined it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just not what I was expecting. You know, just with the amount of melee combat and stuff like that. But also what I've found quite interesting about this is it hasn't sold very well at all. And I know people will say, well, it's on Game Pass, you know. Game Pass games, everyone's playing on Game Pass. But that's not really true, is it? Because you look at the Steam stats from, say, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, that's on Game Pass, and that sold shitloads on Steam. And I think I looked earlier, I'll check the numbers in a minute while you guys are talking. It's only had about 30,000 consecutive players on Steam since launch, which is very low numbers. And Doom used to be a franchise that always, you know, in my mind, did very, very well. So I'm not really sure what's gone on there as well, if that makes sense. But I'll check numbers anyway. I'm just going to double check more what I'm talking about. But tell me more about the game that you've been enjoying it, because obviously you played it a lot of hours. You're sounding like you're near the end, to be honest. So
I'm kind of getting. I mean, also it's worth noting I'm playing this on PS5, and my PS5 I think is a PS5 Slim rather than original.
Right.
And this game, as I understand it, has ray tracing on all the platforms, even on Xbox Series S. They are saying, but the load times on this game on PS5 from going to the menu, selecting the mission, and pushing go, the load time is about 3 seconds.
Wow!
And you're in. It is just optimized to within an inch of its life. This game.
Yeah.
But I am quite enjoying it, and I'm finding as I get through it's not doing the things that Eternal did. There is a very little bit of kind of sort of platforming, and there are things that you can do later on with your shield to get across large gaps, but they haven't gone the ridiculous route like they did with Eternal, where you had to like do air dashes and double jumps, because that annoyed the hell out of me. What I like though is the way the combat is geared is you can go from having 30 points of health back to 100 points of health by just playing the systems and doing some parrying and sticking a couple of melee kills, and it'll bring you back up to where you were. You can kind of your sort of health gauge will go up and down so much in the space of one battle. It's just unreal.
That's cool.
But what I quite like is there is a level of nuance, because some characters will, for example, some characters will have armor. So what you can do is you can throw your shield at the smaller enemies and just cut them down. If it's more of a mid-size enemy, the shield will basically stick in their body and stun them. But if you shoot them a few times, their armor starts to glow red, which means it's kind of it's been slightly compromised. And if you then hit them with the shield, you can actually smash their armor off and make them more vulnerable and easier to kill. So it's quite good, because it's sort of the characters kind of show the amount of damage and the amount of armor they have dynamically. So, for example, by shooting them, you can actually shoot demons' arms off. It's got that level of destructibility, even on like the sort of standard PS5 version.
Okay. What's quite interesting as well that you just made me remember is PC gamers have been a little bit annoyed about this, the ray tracing thing, because anything under a 20 series card cannot play this game.
Won't even run it. Run it now.
It won't even launch. Yeah. Which I think is probably one of the only games that does that actually in recent memory. But I think what people need to remember in the PC gaming space is that the 10 series cards are really fucking old now. So, it's probably time to upgrade.
I had to do the drivers before it let me run it.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
But it's so smooth.
It runs really well.
It is very smooth.
Yeah.
There's no excuses for anybody after seeing how well this runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, I've spoken a lot. Somebody else wants to talk about it.
Have you played this, Nick?
I forgot it come out, mate.
So have a lot of people. So I just wanted to say, I did check the numbers. It's quite interesting, actually. So if you look at Doom, it's peaked at 31,470 players on Steam, which is very low. And then you compare it to Clair Obscur Expedition 33, also on Game Pass, 145,063. So over 100,000 more players, which is quite staggering, really, when you compare this. That's a brand new IP, and Doom is an established franchise. Also, to note, it's on Game Pass. And everywhere else it's £70. Ouch.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, also there might be a lot of people that didn't bother with this because they got put off by the last one.
yeah, I never finished the last one
the last
myself.
one.
I just thought it was a
I mean,
bit there. Yeah.
Just kept getting annoyed on all the jumping sections and falling back down. I was just like, oh, I can't be arsed.
Yeah, I was the same.
Same. Yeah.
I think that was on Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
And not from. I don't think it was from new, possibly,
No.
but I think it went to Game Pass. I think it went on when the Bethesda deal went through.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, then, Graham, you're really liking it. You're almost at the end. Frosty, you're all enjoying it for what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I've only played a couple of hours of it just because it come out and I wanted to see what they'd done with it. So I haven't played a lot of it, but it is a very enjoyable game. There's just other things that are taking my attention right now.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I mean, I wanted to try it just for the podcast's sake, but I'm kind of into another game at the minute.
I'll put more time into this when I have a bit of a lull and other things to play.
Mm-hmm. But I thought, it's decent for what it is, I guess. But it's just weird that Doom has gone in this direction. I feel it just feels very strange, going from the old school lone dude to you're on this planet with loads of other soldiers, etc. It seems to be going in a very, as we say, Space Marine / Halo type direction. Cool. That's it on Doom, I guess.
Sounds like it.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to talk about the other new release that came out this week. And it's a game that, surprisingly, I am vastly enjoying. And I have to give a big shout out to Frosty for putting this game into my vicinity, because he told me to play the demo ages ago. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm really enjoying the full game. And that is a little game called The Precinct. So basically, it's set in the 1980s. Great era. Peebs knows it very well. And so basically, it's set in the 80s, and you play as a police officer. And it's basically done in kind of an isometric type view. But what I'm going to say is the graphics on this are absolutely gorgeous. The lighting, like when you're driving down the road and you have the sirens on, the lighting reflecting off, like when it's raining, like off the puddles and stuff. Absolutely gorgeous. Also, it's out on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and it's only £25, which is great. I do love a bargain. So that's all obviously another positive about it. So basically, there is an overarching crime story in there, but basically what you do is each day starts, and you can choose what to do. You can go on like foot patrol. You can go like in your car. Later on, you unlock patrolling in a helicopter. And it all plays completely different. So you're hitting the mean streets, and you're in your car, and you can basically do people for speeding, driving erratically, drunk driving, etc., etc. It does get a little bit repetitive after a while, though, because basically there's kind of you go through the same process when you're arresting someone. So once you've got them in handcuffs, you check their ID, then you search them, and then you need to choose. There's like a little menu, and you choose what to arrest them for, and there's multiple options. And basically, if you get it right, you get XP. If you get it wrong, you lose a little bit of XP. So you mostly it's common sense. But on a few occasions, you can get it wrong, which is a little bit annoying. And basically, what happens is, so basically the gameplay loop is, there's two gangs in the city, and I believe the overarching story is you go up the tiers of the gangs. You start at like the ground level of the gangs and you work your way up, and I think the end of the game is going to be like you got to take out the big bosses of each gang. And the way that's working out at the minute, I'm still quite early in the game to be honest, is as crimes happen in the city, you collect evidence. That evidence goes towards finding the next kind of gang leader in that hierarchy, if that makes sense. And once you've got enough evidence, like a little thing will happen saying, right, we know who it is. This is me talking about it in very basic terms. We know who it is, and we're all going to, the police, we're all going to meet up at this place and we're going to go and get this person, right? So it's basically all the police are there and you're all in your cop cars and you go in a building and there's shootouts and all that. So that's quite cool, but the actual way you get to that, it can take a little bit of time. So basically it does take a few days of doing your beat, of choosing, doing your beat walk or going in the helicopter or doing the beat in the car. I mean, that's the one I like to do. And then crimes will pop up, and then it'll say, oh, there's come up on your radio, oh, there's a crime in this place, and then you've got to choose if you're going to respond or not. If you choose to respond, you need to get there within a certain amount of time, and then when you get there, it's very random. You go and arrest them, or you have a shootout, or whatever. When you arrest someone, you get a choice of calling in another police to collect the criminal to take back to the police station for you so you can carry on your beat, or you can just put them in your cop car, drive them to the station and book them yourself. Book them, Dino. So, it tries to be quite realistic in a way where things take a little bit of time, but I'm really enjoying it. Because the city is so, I don't know, it's quite dingy, it's quite grungy, and there's quite a lot of different districts. It's quite a big map, to be honest, and then you get to choose like where your beat's going to kind of be. And the randomness of things happening, it's just quite cool. You could be just walking around and then someone will be stealing something, or there'll be a mugging, or you'll be cruising in your cop car and then you'll see someone just weaving in the road. And you're like, right, let's go. And you think to yourself, right, I'm going to go and arrest them. And it could turn into a cop chase, or they might just pull over, and it's quite easy. It's all very randomized. And I quite like this idea of you're not playing a criminal for a change. We're all used to our Grand Theft Auto type games, but this game, you're on the other side of law, and it's very rare you get a game where you are on that other side of the law, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, I'm quite liking that change in direction in a video game. And it's done very well because it's done in that isometric kind of way. It's just different. It feels quite different to other games out there, if that makes sense, because it's not first person or over the shoulder or whatever, and it just makes it quite a nice dynamic when you're cruising or in your helicopter. And then you do get more options. So when you're saying a police chase, you're chasing someone down, you get the option to call in backup. So you can call in backup cars, or a helicopter or spike strip. If you're on foot and something's going down, you can call in backup, just patrol officers, again, cars or a helicopter. So if you kind of lose someone and you've got the helicopter, it'll tell you where they are, and it'll blip on the radar in that kind of area, and you have to go and search them down. So yeah, I think it's a cool game. It's an indie game. That's probably why it's so cheap, but it's definitely caught me by surprise. And this is the game that's pulled me away from playing Doom, to be honest, because I was playing this. And then I was like, I'm going to check Doom out. And then I played the first couple of chapters of Doom. And then I was like, I just want to go back and play the Precinct. It's just got just an interesting gameplay loop. I just find it quite enjoyable. And I just like how it edges on that part of realism with the radio and the way it works. And at the end of your shift, you've got to drive back to the police station, and you go back to your desk, and then it goes on to the next day, and there's like a little meeting in the morning, and then you go and do your next day shift, if that makes sense, or night shift, or whatever you want to do. So, it's a cool little game. It really, really is. And I think more people, I just want to get the word out there, really, because I don't think it's a game that many people know is even out or haven't heard of it. There's a demo on Steam. There's probably a demo on console. I don't know. Give it a go. As I say, it's only £25. It's an enjoyable game. It really is. So, and I know Frosty, you haven't had a chance to play it yet. I know you played the demo, and you enjoyed that. So,
yeah, I'm going to pick it up. I think it's £16 on CD keys. So I am going to pick it up.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get what I'm currently doing out of the way, and then I'm looking for something new. Then I will pick this up because I really enjoyed the demo. And like I say, it just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the graphics are amazing. They really are. The cool thing is...
it's cel shady, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird because it's got that cel shaded look, but it's just the way they've implemented the start. Like with the lighting's just stunning. Like, it's just simple things like, as I say, like when your siren lights are on, it's just the way, because it's quite rainy a lot of the time, it's just the way the lights bounce off all the, like the road and the windows and everything. It just looks gorgeous. Really does.
Looks like old, like GTA on PS1.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's cool as well. But also the way the XP system works is pretty cool. So as you rank up, you get you can unlock more things. So different weapons, more different vehicles. You hold more ammo, shit like that. But it's just the way it progresses is, I think, is it's just really well done as well. So yeah, I really like it, and as I say, it's got quite a cool story to it. I don't want to spoil anything. But it's just the way it's done, I think, is just I just really like. So, yeah, the Precinct, a cool little game, and it's not, as I say, it's not simple. Like the thing, just a last little note is I think what's keeping me hooked on it is it's not as simple as it looks, because when you're arresting someone, you need to think about, right, what options am I going to choose? I don't want to get this wrong. It kind of leaves it up to you to make the decisions, and then you get rewarded or not, depending on your choices. So,
I'd imagine it would fit perfectly for handheld play as well.
It probably would, yeah. Probably would on the Steam Deck, I guess, yeah. But yeah, it's a great little game. So that's the Precinct. Frosty, over to you.
All right, well, I'm going to get a little one out of the way first to get the anger out of me. So
dear.
I can be chill for the rest of it. There was a game that popped up on Game Pass called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed.
I know what's going to happen here.
My God.
What's it called? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Mutants Unleashed.
Oh, dear, mutants. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Now, I want to play this because the last Turtles game that came out on the Xbox was a really fantastic beat-em-up.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, old-school style gameplay, side-scrolling, nice graphics, play it with friends, etc. This, I thought, was going to be more of the same. I just can't get past what they've done to the franchise. It's just... they've just ruined everybody in it. So the Turtles themselves...
Oh my God, what have they done to them?
Exactly, yeah. They look like they've not eaten for 300 years.
Well, this is the style that they've gone for from the latest movie as well.
Yeah. Apparently so, yeah. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to go anywhere near that. But what have they done to April?
Oh, it's the standard race swap, mate.
Oh, but now she's a short, fat black girl.
With ginger hair.
With ginger hair.
Ginger hair and freckles. I don't think you can have freckles.
Oh. It's like they've got to put everything into one character.
Oh.
And yeah, so I just stopped playing it after about 45 minutes. I gave it 45 minutes. I don't think I even got into the meat of the game. I think I was still going through the tutorial at that point. But it almost brought me out in hives just trying to play it.
Oh,
so, I mean, it's not a new game by all accounts, is it? It came out last year.
Oh, okay.
2020, October last year, I think it came out. But obviously, it's just come out onto Game Pass. To be honest with you, even the gameplay, I don't think. I mean, it's not doing anything new. It just feels like a cheap, horrible, like cash-in, basically. The art style is painful. There's nothing that I can say that's good about this game at all. If you want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, play the last one that they brought out.
Yeah, that arcade one, that was fucking awesome, that.
That was awesome.
That in co-op, yeah.
Yeah, and that felt like the game from the arcades.
Yeah.
That we all fell in love with in the first place. You know, this is just... How can the kids think that this is Turtles?
Oh, no, mate. They've just completely ruined the franchise with this, haven't they? It's just ridiculous.
I mean, Shredder looks like, you know... I know they probably weren't allowed to use like the Shredder from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it's probably offensive.
Why is Kevin Nash offensive? He's offensive now. Okay.
Everything's offensive now. This entire game is offensive. I'm offended.
Yeah,
you're offended by their offence.
Oh, it's just I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. So I'm gonna stop even talking about it now because I'm getting wound up.
Well, thanks for that, Frosty, and thanks for pre-warning all everyone else that this game sucks balls.
No, he's got to complete it now and get a full 1000G.
Yeah, I want to see you Twitch stream this to the very bitter end. Yes, fucking hell, mate. Oh, what a way to ruin a franchise. Jesus.
I know.
But the thing is that there seems to be a trend of our old franchises that we used to know and love in the 80s and 90s of being ruined. Because I believe they did a similar thing to Scooby-Doo as well.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So
they made one of them a lesbian as well, didn't they?
Just what you want in a kids' cartoon series, eh?
It's just people who didn't have the passion and come up with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make it their own and push their own crap into it. Just make new stuff. If you, especially when you get so many people come out and say that they don't like the franchise and we're going to make, well, don't make it then. Simple.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stop talking about this and get on to Graham's game, shall we?
Well, I haven't actually played a hell of a lot more because I've actually been... I was off work for a couple of days this week because I was unwell, actually, on the day that Doom came out. So I actually haven't put as many hours into Doom as I might have done otherwise. I have played a little bit more of Balatro. I've put a couple more hours into that. But really, apart from that, that is all I've played this week.
Wow. Well, that's a short one from you then, mate.
Yeah, sorry. So I've literally played one and a bit games, I would say.
That's all good, mate. It's all good. All good in the hood. Yeah. Nick, you played anything?
I played loads because I've been off for 2 weeks. But I've played and finished Atomfall. Atom
Balls, eh?
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. I liked it.
Oh, you enjoyed it, did you?
Yeah. I mean, I think it could have been better, but I'll get onto that. But, you know, I think the graphics are nice. I suppose it's not full of ray tracing, so everyone says the graphics are shit, but it's just got that nice... It's got that nice art style, and I think they were going for a sort of a Fallout game. It's almost there, but also this reminds me of did any of you guys play Everybody's Gone to Rapture?
Yes,
on PS4 years ago. That was like that, but there's an actual game here, not just walking around listening, because that was a walking sim, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was just a kind of sim. But yeah, there's loads of missions and stuff, and it's got a map, and you know how much I love maps, Webby.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like waypoints and stuff. So I was like,
you know what I like, Nick? A physical cloth map.
Oh yes,
Oh.
Nice bit of parchment.
Whoa, yeah, gets me
with
going.
Golden
That
ink
does.
on top
Whoa.
as well. I don't know what that was, to be honest.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's getting excited just thinking of the cloth map from Oblivion.
Oh, I've still got that.
Oh. Anyway, sorry, mate. You carry on about atom balls.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I liked it because obviously they all talk proper like me. You know, they've got all the weird like Yorkshire and Norfolk accents and things like that, which is quite nice. And there's a nice place like one of the main city that links all the places together is Wyndham, which is nice because that's like not far from me, not spelt the same. There's a place called Wyndham, so I'm like, oh, it's near where I live, which is kind of nice. But
Nice.
yeah, and also like you've got loads of things like for health, you eat like Cornish pasties and things like that. And then when you can go to the pub. And I saw this woman, she had like a big sausage roll. And I was like, oh, I want a sausage roll, but she wouldn't give it to me. So I killed her, and everyone attacked me in the city. I'm like, what did I do? You know, because I think Greg's must have died after the bombs went off. But yeah, it's pretty decent. And I finished. I think I said to you, Webby, I think I don't know if it's the bad ending, like the telephone ending.
That was the best ending that I could found on YouTube. So,
well, none of them really. When I went, I don't know, can I spoil?
I don't think there really is a good ending, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing. It's like the game ends, and it just shows some like pictures and slideshows and tells you something, and I'm like, I just, I just got a few videos and stuff, but. Yeah, but there's multiple endings. I didn't bother. I did try to go back and get a different ending, but turns out I killed someone for the other ending. The other guy ran off and killed himself, I think. And I forgot to pick up something for the woman to escape in a helicopter. So she tried to kill me, so I had to kill her as well. So I'm like, oh, great. But I think if you wanted to get all the endings, it's a multiple save job and probably... like walkthroughs and stuff to make sure you pick. Because I tried, like most games, like, I tried to do all the main missions first.
What main missions? There isn't any. Yeah. It's all side missions. That's what fucking got me about it.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is, it said everything was a main mission, but it was all side missions. There wasn't really... Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it was the main mission... for this ending, a main mission for that end, and a main mission for that end, and so I didn't know which order I was supposed to do them.
Yeah.
So it's a bit overload, but I did enjoy it. It's a good, I think it's a good 6.5, 7 out of 10 type game, and it's on Game Pass, so people should definitely give it a go. But it's another one. I think like a lot of people, you need to like read some stuff online, like to work out. Because I didn't even know how to upgrade my weapons. Because you have to like upgrade your character and select a certain bit to upgrade weapons, and then find like little books and stuff, which I didn't know how to do that until the very, very end of the game. And the only thing that's annoying is there's no New Game Plus. I'd have liked to have had like the option of a New Game Plus, but you keep all your upgrades into the next one, because I think I got maybe 25% of all, the perks and upgrade system that you could get. And it's not a long game. It's only like maybe 10, 12 hours max, really. And it's pretty good. There's something that's kind of annoying is your heart rate is on at all times. So when you just run around everywhere, you have to stop every like 20, 30 seconds because your heart's beating 180 beats a minute, and I think you'd die.
Just like real life.
Stop. Well, mate, it's not real life. 3 minutes, 3 seconds, and I'd have a heart attack, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, if I stand up too quickly, I feel like I'm going to black out.
See, the weird thing about this game is you don't need to do any of the story shit. Well, I say story very loosely here, because I just went to the end by getting the items I needed, went to the place, and went to the end bit, if that makes sense. Probably not the correct way to play, which is probably why.
Yeah, but you did say you used the walkthrough as well.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I only used the walkthrough once because I was like, well, how am I supposed to get to this bit? Because it was a little bit different. I don't know if you noticed that Webby, like the whole, is it the I forgot what it's called now, the intergrade, like the bits, the tunnels, like the fallout shelters.
Oh, yeah.
It's all linked. And sometimes it tried to get me to go through that place which is guarded, where you see the Doctor Who TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get in that way, and it took me a while to get in because I kept getting killed. And when I got in, I realised that wasn't the way I was supposed to go in.
Yeah,
I was supposed to go. So sometimes the waypoints kind of lie to you because it assumes you've unlocked. Because each one, it's all connected like a sort of like a spider web type thing, and you have to open the doors and stuff. And I tried to get in a place where the door wasn't open yet.
Because you have to open it from the inside.
Yeah. But I didn't know that. And a few bits, because you had to get all these batteries to unlock, to power up the thing. And, it's decent. I'll tell you what it reminded me of, in a way. It reminded me of Assassin's Creed 1. Because it's got the good underpinnings of a decent game and a franchise, I think. I mean, I don't know if it's sold that well because it's on Game Pass. And it was a fairly budgety title. I think it was like a £40 game as well, and it was on PS5 and Steam. So, but you know what I mean? I just think there's something here that if they if they listen to criticism, which is really hard for anyone to do these days, constructive criticism, saying maybe like Webby says it could do with more story. Yeah, it could. Slightly. I think the combat was fun. The guns. Did you notice that maybe all the guns were really underpowered?
They were really
so I just ended up smashing people in the face with a cricket bat most of the time.
Yeah.
I tried to, because I'm a Resident Evil guy, I saved most of my bullets and my gun stuff, and then I was trying to shoot people. I was like, it's not doing anything. So 2 cricket bat shots to the face kills pretty much anybody. Yet you could shoot them at point blank range with 6 shotgun bullets and it doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, But I did hear, because I don't know if you did at Webby, that you can upgrade your weapons, but it's weird. It's like you have to get 2 weapons of the same, but they're old and rusty, and then some oil. Also have the perk that lets you upgrade weapons, and you basically combined 2 rusties into a good, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you can combine 2 goods into a perfect. That's how you upgrade. And I have seen that if you do upgrade it 2 or 3 times, then the guns are pretty decent. But I'm like, so you could spend 2 hours upgrading your guns, or you could just smack them over the head with a cricket bat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did like it, and probably so far it's my game of the year. But hopefully there's some more ones. But it's only, I thought this the other day, it's only May, and I'm like, we're nearly halfway through the year, aren't we?
Yeah. Wow.
But yes, that's me, finished a whole new game from this year.
Well done, mate.
Giving up retro.
I applaud you for that, because it's very rare you finish games, like new games these days.
I do, I just finish them in 5-6 years' time.
Yeah. But no, that's good, mate. Excellent news. Cool. Is it back to me, is it?
You.
Okay. Yep. I haven't actually played loads this week, so because, and Frosty's going to slag me off for this, but it's fine. My most played game this week is Forza Motorsport.
Wow. Someone's got to play it.
I tell you what, mate, I know you slag it off because I know you're really into your sim racing with iRacing, and iRacing's great. I get it, right? But they've really improved motorsport now. Like, it is so different from the game that launched a couple of years ago. It runs really well, even on PC now. Looks great. They've added loads of new cars, loads of new tracks. The online actually has people playing it, which I'm amazed at, because you go back about a year when I was playing it, I tried to play it again, and I was going online into lobbies, and I was lucky to get 1 or 2 people in the lobby. And I've been playing it all week, hardcore style. And big shout out to Gavlar. We had a really good session last night till gone midnight. Great times with Gav. And pretty much every race had 20 plus people in. I think the max is like 24 players a race. And for the most part, very clean racing, hardly any idiots, which is really, really nice. And just fun. And I know it's not as simmy as Gran Turismo or iRacing or Assetto Corsa or one of the other games. But one thing about the Forzas that I've always enjoyed, well, apart from the last one, because that was a bit shit, but is they're just fun, right? And I wasn't really finding this fun until, like, really fun until this latest update, this 20-year anniversary update that they've put out, because they've tweaked it, in my opinion, just enough and added enough content that when you go online and play, it's just fun. And you're not hanging around and waiting for races and stuff like that. You choose a race that's there's multiple different races in the list, and most you'll be waiting is probably about 5 or 10 minutes. You do your qualifying, race starts, and you go. The only thing I think that needs tweaking still a little bit, and I think a lot of racers do struggle with this, is the penalty system. Gran Turismo has the same issue as well, is basically if someone takes you out, you can still get in situations where you will also get a penalty, which is really fucking annoying. And that happens in Gran Turismo a lot as well still. But apart from that, they've tweaked it enough so people can't just ram into you at full speed and take you off at a corner. The game now detects your speed up coming to the car in front, and if you're going to ram them, it will ghost you out, so you'll just go through them and just crash into a wall. So it kind of stops that element of griefing, which I think is really, really cool. The griefing it doesn't take away is obviously if you're next to someone and then the person next to you decides to be a dick and just nudge you off the track. That can still happen. But basically, the way it works is there's a ranking system. It goes from A to F or S to F. S to F? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so if you race like a dick, you go down, the alphabet to F, and then you'll be matched with dickheads who just want to ram into each other. But if you race clean, you go up and you end up with the clean people. And there's also another ranking system for how good you are. So then you kind of get matched with people of a similar-ish skill and cleanliness, if that makes sense. So it works quite well. From my experience, especially from the last week, I've had only really a couple of idiots that I've raced against. Most of it's been very clean, very fun. The only thing I don't like about it is you compare it to like a proper sim, say iRacing, you're all in the same car, same spec, so it's all just on player skill. Whereas on a game like Forza, especially, a lot of it depends on your car and the setup as well, which is a little bit annoying because you still get the issue of the meta cars with the meta tunes. So those people with those cars and tunes are always going to fucking just fly off and win the race, and that can be a little bit annoying. But I think the game is now in a really good state, and I'm glad to see that it is, because every console, I think, needs its decent racing game to get online and play with people, right? But the annoying thing is that it's taken them 2 years to get it to this state, and it's typical Xbox. You know, they did it with Halo, Master Chief Collection. They've done it with a few other games. They just need to launch them in a great state because, unfortunately, like with Battlefield, as I mentioned before, it's been tarred with the brush of being a bit shite from its launch, and it's never going to get away from that that kind of, thought process in people's minds. Yeah, that reputation. But no, I'm glad to see that it is. It's definitely improved. I know it's not really for the hardcore sim racers out there, and it still feels shit with a racing wheel. But to sit down on the sofa with a controller in your hand, to have a couple of races with your mates or randoms, it's a solid racer now, and I'm pleased to say that. The graphics look stunning, and the handling is really cool. It's really nice. It feels good. And that's what you really want for a kind of a casual sit down on the sofa controller racer. So, there's nothing really to grumble about on this now, which is really positive to say now. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's cool. So, yeah, that's another one of my games. Go on, Frosty. I know you want to say something.
I don't think Forza has been good since Forza 4. I think that was the last decent Forza Motorsport.
I like 5. That's downhill since then.
I can't stand 5. That's what put me off the entire series.
That's my favourite one.
It was a glorified demo when that came out for the new console, and it had so little content in it when it launched that I refused to buy another Forza after that. I haven't bought one since.
This is on Game Pass, mate, and you don't need to buy it.
This is on Game Pass. I know. That's why I played this one.
Well, I played 5 as a demo in game just before I bought an Xbox One, so it did a job being a demo. Then it made me buy the game.
Yeah, but the game that launched was just the demo content. There wasn't hardly anything to it. Compared to what we had in 4, they stripped everything away, and it was more about the graphic.
Yeah, I was only just. I know they want I think 3 was my favourite.
I liked 4 because I did like the Top Gear.
Yeah,
additions.
But do you? I'm sorry, but do you think this is a problem with modern gaming though? This isn't the only game franchise that does this. Games launch quite bare bones now, and then they just drip feed the content in as time goes by. Like they said with this Forza, that it's kind of an ongoing experience now. They're not going to be making any new games. They're just going to add more content as time goes on, and they've done a good job with that. They've added a lot of new tracks and loads of new cars. That kind of. I kind of like that, but I get what you're saying because a lot of games do launch on that. And Gran Turismo's been guilty of this as well on PlayStation. They brought out that Gran Turismo Prologue game. There was like a couple of tracks and cars because they were like, oh, this will tide you over until the full game. And you look at Gran Turismo 7, people complained about how that launched as a pile of wank, and look at it now, it's fucking awesome, And I think it's not just the games themselves. I think it's just a problem with modern games in general, as well.
Mm.
I mean, when I say about how they've stripped it out, I mean when we had Forza Motorsport 4, that had over 100 track variations to race, etc., etc. When Forza 5 launched, there were 17 tracks.
Still a lot of tracks, though. Think about it.
Not compared to the previous game.
I think the problem is, though, is with the expectations now on graphical fidelity, all these tracks in racing games now, the devs go to the actual tracks, they laser scan the tracks to have them as accurate as possible, and then you got all the scenery and stuff like that. That's a lot of work to do, right? And I'm not saying, I'm not saying I expect games to have like 5 tracks or whatever, but it's just, that's a lot of content to have straight away if you're expecting it to be shiny and new, because if they just brought it over from the old game, it would look shit and then everyone would moan. So they're kind of in a lose-lose situation, aren't they?
Yeah, but you do expect to have more from a new game.
Yeah, I mean...
It's supposed to always be bigger and better.
Of course. I mean, one of my complaints when Forza Motorsport launched was they didn't have Nürburgring. And I was like, how can you launch a racing game without the Nürburgring? It's like, it's probably, for gamers, the most iconic track to race on in a racing game. And to launch a game without Nürburg, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And they it's in it now, but I think it took them about 6 or 7 months to add it. And I was like, fucking, that's like kind of a expectation to just have it when it's launched. You know, it's things like that do frustrate, well, me as someone who loves racing games, right? There is a minimum expectation. But it's not just that, right? It's just the way it kept on, like, when it launched, it crashed all the time online. You know, the lobbies would crash out. There was this glitch on PC where the road would vanish. You know, like, what the fuck? And it was all these silly little things. And it's taken them a long time to fix those issues, which is shite. But, you know, I'm glad, as I say, I'm glad that those issues are fixed now. But those are the things that shouldn't have even been in the game in the first place, right?
And of course, we were also lied to with this game from the trailers.
The graphics, yeah.
And the devs just blatantly lied to everyone what it was going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft have been guilty for that in the past, haven't they? And they got slammed for it, and I remember being so excited for Forza with those initial trailers, like, look, all the ray tracing and all the detail on the asphalt and everything. You know, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. And then when I got the game, I was like, huh?
The Division was one of those, wasn't it?
Yeah. But, you know, but I still think it looks good. It looks really good. I'm not going to put that past it, but no, I understand those complaints and I admit to that as well. But I think from where it launched 2 years ago to where it is now, night and day difference. It's a really good game now.
There's really, for me, there is just no need for it in my library, because obviously being a PC gamer, there are so many races out there that do it better. But if you only have a console, this is the best of the bunch.
Yeah, as I say, for Xbox you've got Forza, for PlayStation you've got Gran Turismo, and then on PC you've got fucking shitloads of sim type races anyway. I think it depends on what you're looking for, right? Because it's, you know, you have to remember that sim racing to the, like, super realistic games is quite a niche market. And I think what Forza and what Gran Turismo do is they kind of, it's that simcade type handling in games where it's drop in, drop out. You don't have to play it all the time. You don't have to get amazing at it. You can just drop in, have fun, play for an hour or two and come off. And that's what most normal gamers want, to be quite honest with you. And I think it does that very well. But obviously there is that market with wheels and stuff like that for that other audience. And for me, I like both. It depends on my mood. You know, I like my iRacing and my other set of courses and stuff like that. But then I like sitting down on the sofa with the controller at times and playing something like this. And, you know, it suits that market very well. And this is a sort of game which would be great for a gamer night. You get like six or seven people on from the community and just have fun. Not take it serious and just have a good time. And that's kind of that market I see it being aimed at. So, yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, it's fixed. Give it another go, people, if you want. Message me if you want to play, because I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, good time. Back to you, Frosty.
Okay. I'll talk about a game that I've been playing, and I did mention it to you that I thought you would quite enjoy this as well. and that is Towerborn.
Oh yeah, I did try it very briefly though. Yeah, very brief. That's because the problem is other games, but
well, the reason why I thought you might quite like it is because the game loop in it is basically what we was talking about earlier, like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up, not the Gash one that we were talking about a minute ago, but the one previous. But it's also got, it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up RPG. So it is a live service game, and the missions and the exploration of the main map is like done on like a hex board, almost like a board game style. But when you actually get into all the missions, it's actually a really pretty side-scrolling hack and slash, basically.
Yeah.
But then you are upgrading. They've got a loot system very similar to like your Diablos. You know, you open a chest at the end of the level, and new swords and shields, etc., will all come out. And then you can obviously build up your abilities with the XP, etc. It's really just fun. The actual game itself is fun, and I think you would enjoy this. And you can do it obviously co-op as well.
Yeah, I noticed you can do couch co-op on it. Obviously online. I didn't play it much. I literally played about 20 minutes just to see what it was like when you mentioned it, and it kind of reminded me of, you know, other side-scrolling games, a bit like Castle Crashers,
Golden Axe,
and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm just a bit wary of these free-to-play games like this because I'm thinking, where are they going to try and make their money? And I didn't quite work it out because I didn't actually play it enough to figure that out. But it seemed like a decent kind of side-scrolling fighting game, a bit like Double Dragon and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. I've played quite a lot of this just purely because you don't realise how long you're playing it for.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
Yeah, because the missions aren't like the levels, should we call them? The levels aren't super long.
Yeah.
So it's like quick stabs of action. Then you're back to, there is a story running through it as well. And it's that, what can I get out of this chest? What am I going to get, sort of thing, you know? And you're talking numbers again. You know, you might have one more attack power than your previous sword, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's just got that addictive style. It's one more before I go out somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
And they've done it really well. I mean, again, this isn't actually a new game. It's new to Xbox. I don't think it's on PlayStation. But it came out September last year in early access on PC.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, it's still got the early, not early access. What do they call it on Xbox? Preview.
Oh yeah, that's
preview.
Right. Yeah.
It's still got the preview sticker on the Game Pass, but by all accounts, it is a full release from what I've seen online. So it has been out and cooking for a while. There seem to be a load of people on it. I did team up with a few randoms. And they've got big boss fights. But yeah, the move sets are good. And then it just gives it a little bit of extra, having the RPG and the experience, etc.
Yeah, I was just looking on Steam. It's £22 on Steam, and it's got glowing reviews on there. So it's definitely something about it then.
It looks great as well. The graphics are excellent.
Yeah, they look nice. It's very, very nice kind of cartoony graphics. Very, very well done. Yeah.
There's good variety in the enemies. You know, it's not all the same. I have sort of progressed to a different area of the map now, and it is completely different.
Nice. That's good to see.
So, yeah, if you give it a go, it's on, like I say, it's on Game Pass, and might be able to hook up and have a few bashes at it.
Bish bash bosh. Nice.
Yes.
Excellent. Graham, you've played all your games. You talked about all your games, haven't you? Just double checking.
I have, I'm afraid, yeah.
That's all right. Nick, anything else?
Yeah, I've got a few more. Another new game that came out this year. Kind of.
What?
Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. I think it's a PS3 game that they then done a PS4 version, and now they've put it out on PC, and console, or it's coming on console. So I think it came out February, something like that. So yeah, it's basically Virtua Fighter again, but I think it's got all the characters from, whatever versions it was on. But they're now adding more characters, obviously, because I think the new Virtua Fighter's coming out at some point. I don't know if it's Virtua Fighter 6 or they're rebooting it. But yeah, I want to play this with my mate, Andrew. I think you met him when you come down to the gaming market before, Webby.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and he Twitch streams this quite a lot and plays it. And yeah, so I got it running on PC. It took me a bit of maybe a few months to get my DualShock controller working with it. And I think I don't know if I told you. Basically, what happened was the controllers just kept disconnecting all the time. So you said, "Oh, just get another dongle and all that sort of thing," and I still couldn't get it to work because I couldn't get the motherboard's Bluetooth to turn off.
Right.
So it just kept defaulting to that one. So I thought, "What's going on here?" And then I was googling. I thought, "What's going on?" And then I was looking in the motherboard box, and I was like, "What are these two little plastic things?" It's the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas that you're supposed to screw onto the motherboard. So you actually get as well. I didn't put it together. I just, I bought it. It was, like a built one.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh right, I didn't, I've never seen those little things that you put on. It kind of looks like what you used to get on the expensive routers, those little plastic aerial type things. So I put those on, and guess what? My controller doesn't disconnect all the time.
Well, there you go then. Problem solved.
Yeah, so I've been playing this with him, and obviously because my Twitch name is Nick Fights, and he's been playing it for ages, and I was obviously kicking the shit out of him. And he's like, "Do you play this game?" "No, I've never played it before." He's like, "Damn it!" And yeah, button mashing for the win.
That's
not too bad. Yeah, but it's fun, but it runs so smoothly on my PC because, like I say, it's not a stupid powerful PC. I think because it's an older game and it's got my monitor's like 180 hertz, so I turned the little thing on. I was getting like 180 frames per second, and I'm like, yeah, that makes a difference. Because like in your brain, because did you back in the day though, Webby, when you used to play like games in the arcade and then you'd play it on like PS1, you'd think it's just the same. But if when you realise how much faster those run, it felt like that. It felt like I was playing the arcade version, just of how good and quick it was.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good little game that I'll be playing. Because like I said, you don't need. You just put this on for 10-15 minutes and have a few fights, and then you're off, aren't you?
Yeah. Nice.
Nice little game. So yeah, that's another game I've been. Back to you, Webby.
Okay, I've only played a couple of other games. And one surprise, actually, and I'm going to blame Sly Almond for this, is I jumped on GTA 5 online.
Oh.
On PC. Of course, is the only way to play.
I don't think it is the only way.
Well, it's the best way to play. Let's just say that. I had a really good time, and I never really got into this properly back in the day because not really many people in the community wanted to play online and back on the Xbox in the day. And I had a little bit of online shenanigans with Hogarth a couple of years ago. Rest in peace, Hogarth. Great guy. But since I played with him last, hadn't gone on to it. So anyway, there was a free update a little while ago, GTA 5 Enhanced Edition. They've slightly improved the graphics, apparently. I can't really tell the difference. Anyway, I went online and I was expecting chaos because last time I went online a long time ago, I was just getting blown up by random people on the server and I turned it off. But I went on and actually I did 3 heists with randoms. And the way I did this was obviously someone in the server wanted people and you have the little phone in the corner and it says so-and-so wants to do a heist. Do you want to join? I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll have a go. And we didn't do any voice chat or anything like that. It was purely just doing the things. And it was so much fun. I'd love to get on this with people I know. The problem is, it's not cross-play, because obviously they're originally quite an old game and they never implemented it, which is so annoying because we're all, as a community, we're all split onto different systems. But I was playing the heist and I was thinking, oh my God, this would be so fun to play with people I actually know, because one of them was getting a dude, breaking him out of prison, if you guys know the one I mean, if you've played the game. So basically, you all have different jobs to do. There's 4 of you. One of you is in a helicopter. One of you drives the bus. One of you pretends to be a prisoner and goes in and gets the other guy out. And the other guy is a plane pilot. Well, guess who the plane pilot was? The webmaster. And I'll tell you what, I was shitting myself, because if you die, or your team only gets one life, and if your vehicle blows up, the mission's over and you have to start all the way from the beginning again. So I was shitting myself. And that mission is quite memorable for me from this past week, because you get to the prison and you're in the plane, and then the jets scramble and you got to avoid the missiles and flying around. I'm like, fucking hell, you know what I mean? And then the guy in the choppers comes along and he's like blowing up the planes for me, but they keep on coming and coming and coming until the dude is out of prison. But then as a pilot, you have to, it tells you like, right, organise with your team where you're going to land and pick them up. And I was thinking, we're not fucking talking. Where the fuck am I going to land? So I was like, right, I'm just going to land at this airstrip that's near the jail, and hopefully they turn up. All the while, the cop cars are coming in. I'm thinking, fucking hell, don't die. Anyway, the guys they open the door to the plane. They all get in. I take off and I fly us to the extraction point. Well, first I've got to get rid of the 5 stars, and that's like, I'm sweating. And then I get rid of that, and then I get to the point where we all parachute out the plane, and then the mission's over. And we did. I was like, fucking hell, that was so much fun. More fun than the other missions I did. But I just liked that kind of gameplay, because everyone has a little job to do, and every job is pretty important. So, they're designed very well. So I was just like, man, GTA or not, I can see why people get hooked on this, because the heists are really fun. You get money. I bought myself an arcade in the world, so I have an arcade. I bought arcade machines. It makes me money. And you can buy yourself like a nightclub and all these other things. It's kind of like an evolving kind of online self, if that makes sense. So I can see where they make the money from the shark cards, because obviously you can spend real money to buy the shark cards, which turn into like in-game money to do more things. So yeah, I can see where people get quite hooked on this, because it runs really well. It's very smooth. It's like your online persona. It's a bit like an MMO in a weird way. But no, I had a lot of fun playing this past week online. It was just fun. And what's quite funny is, obviously, from when I played this donkeys years ago, it's my dude's got a Mojo Interactive T-shirt on with the logo. So obviously there was a way to put the like your own personal like images and shit in the game. Fucking can't remember how to do that, but it's like I've got a Mojo T-shirt. I've got an orange car with a Mojo logo on. Really weird, but yeah, like if anyone else has got this on PC, just do some heists. It's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. So there's that. Grand Theft Auto, 10-year-old game, still going strong. Back to Frosty.
Right. Another Game Pass game that I've been playing a little bit of this week is Revenge of the Savage Planet. Any of you tried this one out yet?
I think this came onto Game Pass ages ago, then came off.
No, it was the first one. This is brand new.
Oh, okay. No,
yeah,
I haven't.
The first game was Journey to the Savage Planet.
Oh, okay.
So this is a sequel.
Okay.
the original one, the biggest change that I've seen straight away is the original game was a first-person game, and they have now changed this to a third-person.
Okay.
Which took a little sort of getting used to because I have played the first game. This is fun. This is comedy. The comedy in this game is on point. Basically, you are working for this corporation, and they've sent you out into space to colonize space. The company that sort of that sends you out took over the company that you used to work for in the first game, and then you've been in hypersleep for hundreds of years getting to this planet, and then when you get there, you crash land, and then they basically send you a video saying, "Oh yeah, we've decided that we're not bothering with space anymore. Good luck," and they just leave you to die on the planet, basically. But this is a really good fun game. It's got some great mechanics to it. You're unlocking gadgets and different bits as you go through the game. Looks beautiful. So, this is co-op as well, which I'd like to see how that runs, because the first one wasn't co-op, I don't think. But yeah, very, very good storyline. When you're at your home base, they've actually done live video sort of messages for you to watch as the story progresses, and I think this is going to be a good game.
What's it kind of like? Just like you go to a planet, you got to get supplies and build things.
So there is some supplies that you have to get to be able to unlock new buildings to your base. You've got a big base area that you will be like upgrading buildings and so on and so forth. But currently, I mean, I've probably played about 2 hours of this so far, and I've just been sort of doing missions, unlocking the pistol. There's like a proton whip, which also is like a grappling hook. And you can actually like lasso some of the creatures. I don't know what you're doing that for at the moment. Like I say, it seems like there's quite a long tutorial, which I'm still really sort of getting to grips with. But it's just a big platformer, like open world style platformer. And yeah, I've just been doing sort of missions, but the art style on this is really nice. And yeah, you're just basically trying to survive. It's quite cutesy as well, you know, in its look. But yeah, everything so far feels like a proper top-tier title.
Interesting. It just looks a bit funky, the graphics. I'm just like, just very cartoony.
It is very cartoony. The first one was as well. Yeah. I think they have ramped up the comedy-esque style of this more than the first one. Okay. But it's very tongue-in-cheek. The comedy does not take itself serious at all.
Nice.
But so far as an overall package, it's got every trope that you can think of from a platformer. You know, you got the mushrooms that you can bounce higher on, and you know you have to unlock certain weapon types to get through different areas. You can only destroy certain things with certain weapons and tools, basically. But yeah, I think I've come across one sort of large-ish boss in one of the areas, so I'm sure that's going to be a thing that you come across quite a bit as you go from place to place. But so far, I've just been, it's one of those games that you play with a smile on your face.
Yeah, no, it's good, mate. Yeah, good to see. Very nice. Nick, anything else? Sorry, Frosty.
Yeah,
Frosty. Sorry, Frosty.
I was just going to say, and it's on Game Pass, so there's no reason not to just give it a look and see what you think.
Nice. Sorry about that. Nick?
Yeah, I got mad last week and uninstalled Claire Obscure 33 and got really mad and hated. I had a rant in the Discord and the WhatsApp, and then I reinstalled it because I hate punishment. I want to love this game, but I like it. It's messing with me so much. Just the little bits that are annoying me. Just to, like I said to you, like getting lost. Like, the bit I got lost in, I keep having to look up online what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to go. And the guy was like, "Oh, be careful here because you'll just walk round and round in circles. Just go back on yourself." I'm like, "Well, why am I going back on myself?" It has seemed to try and copy a little bit of Dark Souls, where you go to certain bits and then you loop back on yourself, unlock doors and things like that, which it doesn't do it as well as Dark Souls and some other games. Like I said, but I've said that before. The game does need a map, and even on easy, it's too hard. I was speaking to I think you might have met her, Webby. I think she was at the Game and Market as well, possibly. But my friend, she had to stop playing it because it was just too hard. But she was liking the game. But she's the same as me, Webby. It's not hard where you think it's hard. Like, I've been playing it. I haven't really struggled with any of the boss fights. It's the normal fights that are pissing me off. Not because it's just that they're long and monotonous, and they keep doing things that I'm like, well, they keep doing loads of damage, so I have to heal myself and use my turns to heal myself. But by the time I've healed myself, they then attack me and they've done more damage. And they keep doing these things with the shields. And that's what I'm saying.
Sounds like an old school traditional JRPG to me, mate.
It's not. It's not, Webby. Not all of them. Some of them, maybe. But it's weird. I'm not the only one. A lot of people have said this game is... you put it down to easy mode, and a lot of people I know have. Even people I know that give me shit for playing on easy have put it down to easy. So
yeah, no, I admit it's hard. Like, I had one boss
that's what
fight.
I'm saying, but it doesn't say easy mode. It says story mode. A nice easy game without a challenge. Well, that's just not the case, is it? But are they going to patch it and make it easier? Probably not. And I know it's a small team, so I'm not going to knock them. Too much, but it's some other games which I should love, and I'm pretty sure you loved it, Webby. Octopath Traveler.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't get on with it, mate. Pissed me off. Because the battles, it's not just like normal. Like when I play a lot of these RPGs, especially when you get it and everything clicks, you go through the normal not boss battles fairly easily. Whereas these ones, it's not that they're difficult, they just take so fucking long. Just a normal battle, because they keep they doing all the buffs and constantly messing with you. Final Fantasy did that with one enemy that just kept messing with you. Do you know what enemy that was? Maybe that was pretty much throughout the whole game. Well, him and the old, was it the Marlboro? The big thing.
Yeah, the breath and all that. Yeah,
but stuff like that. But it seems like this game, so many enemies just keep doing that. I've done several boss fights and I've enjoyed them and it made sense. I thought, oh, this is good. And then it's a multi-stage boss fight and I'm like, fair enough. I don't mind multi-stage boss fight. And I'm pretty much doing the bosses first time. But I keep dying on the normal enemies. How does that make sense? Because if I'm under-leveled, I shouldn't be able to do the boss fights. Do you know what I mean? It's got me the other way around. I don't know if maybe one day this week, Webby, if I stream it, if you can have a look. I need a friend to come round and he'll probably go into the menus. Oh, you haven't upgraded this, you idiot! Or why are you using this weapon? Or no, you've done this build wrong. Because I know you can
you can upgrade your weapons. You can get different weapons, armors.
But you can also on your bits where you can use an item and reset all your ability points to 0.
Yeah.
So maybe I've done that wrong.
But also you need to perfect your parrying and dodging.
That's I like the idea of that. It's just in the bosses it seems to work, but some of the enemies they'll attack
learning
you.
them. It is learning
it's not
them,
just
mate.
But they're all different.
Yeah.
And some of them, they'll jump at you really quickly, land next to you, and you dodge because you think that's the attack, but it's not. So he'll jump, land next to you, and you'll dodge or parry, and then he'll just poke you whilst you're... I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Or, and mid-fight, they'll change as well, like all the different ones. And I'm not sure, because AI told me, and I can't hear it because I've got poor hearing. I don't know if you ever noticed it, Webby. Apparently, there's an audio cue in the game.
There is.
Like, is there a ping or a something?
Yeah, it's like a little slashy type noise. Yeah,
but I can't hear it.
You're wearing headphones?
Not all the time, but sometimes. But then I've got bad hearing and tinnitus. So if that's a slashy or a ringing noise, it's like when I played when I used to play Warzone. When you were near a thing, you'd hear like a whistling noise to know you were near a chest. I couldn't hear it because my tinnitus sort of cancelled that out.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, though, if it was too easy, you'd break the game because you'd never get touched, would you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just... This is almost such a brilliant game.
I love it, mate, and this month's Edge magazine gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but Edge is full of shit.
So, and Webby gives it a 10 out of 10. So,
yeah, well, Edge gave GTA 3 a 6 out of 10, so fuck them. I'm never letting that go. I know it was over like 12 years ago, but no, I don't really get magazines anymore, to be honest. There aren't many left, is there? But yeah, I do like the game. It's just, it's just a few little bits. It's not just me, a lot of people. I mean, you said it was getting to you, and then you got past it.
Yeah, because I went on, I struggled with a boss multiple times, went and did some leveling up, and then I cheated a little bit and found a leveling up kind of area, and D-Twin did the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. You're going to have to tell me where that is later. I chat BT'd it, and they said it was an area, because I'm now into Act 2.
Yeah, don't be doing the fucking AI bollocks, mate. Actually just use Google or a search engine and search for things. Because AI sucks donkey balls.
Well, whatever. It's, but like I said, I do, a lot of these games, I think it's very similar to Dark Souls, or with me, Bloodborne. It's like, I like it, but it's too hard. I'm getting it, and you just have to keep, and then you just click. I'm hoping I'm just going to click soon, but I don't know. Maybe when Darren's back, and if we've all finished, maybe we'll do like a spoiler talk section about it.
Yeah, I think so. Spoil it. Yeah, because Darren is loving it, but he's obviously away in Japan now, so
yeah. So give him time to maybe finish it when he get back, and we'll just say, not like a whole podcast, just like a 10-minute bit where we all just spoil the game.
Yeah.
And talk about it, maybe.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, back to you, or...
Yeah. I haven't played... Oh, fucking... Where is it? Yeah, the only other two... I want to just talk about these very briefly. Went back onto Arma Reforger this week. Still loving it. It's a shame that no one else in the community wants to play with me anymore. What are you all doing? Still a great game. Absolutely loving it. Best online FPS at the moment, in my humble opinion. And I went back and played a little bit of Assetto Corsa Evo, which is an early access. There was a 0.2 update, which I played a little bit of, and I did a little video, actually. They have improved it ever so slightly, but it's very, very, very early access still. But it runs well, which is good, but the graphics do leave a lot to be desired still in its early state. There's only like 4 tracks, and about 20 cars. Some of the cars haven't got the steering wheel animations though, which is really weird. But it feels decent on my Logitech wheel, nowhere up to like the other Assetto Corsa games. I think they're still tweaking with settings. And this is how early access it is. It doesn't even have the speedo in miles per hour. It's all in kilometers. Who the fuck does kilometers per hour, you weird people? But no, it seems to be coming along at a steady pace, and I know when it comes out, eventually it will be a great sim, as the previous games were. But at the moment, it's pretty much a glorified tech demo. I only bought it in January because it was really cheap, and you get access to the full game when it comes out. That's it. That's all I've played. Frosty, played anything else?
Oh. I've started playing another game this weekend. There's no point in talking about it too much, though. I've just started a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Great game.
Yeah, I've never completed it.
What?
Yeah. I had it when it first came out on the Xbox, and I got out of the snow area and never went back to it.
Dude, just right at the beginning. What the fuck?
It bored me back in the day. But yeah,
it's
now
one of the it's one of the greatest games ever made, mate. It is that
good. I mean, obviously it looks stunning on because I think it had a remaster for the PC version as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or they had enhanced it, should we say? And it looks stunning. I have just got out of the snow area. But yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. But yeah, there's not a huge amount to really talk about. Everyone's played it really at this point, haven't they?
Runs really well on the Steam Deck if you have one as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of these games that came out so long ago, and you still put so many games to shame now.
Oh, mate, I think I talked about this a month or so ago because I started playing it again, and it actually blew me away just how good the graphics are, the story, how interactive the world is. Like, there's so many little things that...
Yes, it's the little details.
Yeah, and you're like...
The horse testicles.
Yeah. It's just like... Not even games that come out in the last year or two, like most games cannot stand up to the level of detail that this game has. So
you could tell they've got some really good, talented people at Rockstar working on it.
Yes. I mean,
passionate, good people as well.
I literally only bought it yesterday.
On sale, isn't it? Yeah.
I think I got it for about £12 for the all singing, all dancing version.
Yeah.
But yes, it's just stunning to look at.
Yeah, it really is.
So yeah, I am planning to properly go through it this time, and as I say, give it more time because I don't know why it didn't click with me.
Perhaps you weren't in the mood
when it first came out. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a game that I still play with an Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, got to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
It sags a bit in the middle. Sometimes it's a lot longer than I think it needs to be. Like hours wise, it's almost an RPG. Like you're talking pushing 45, 50 hours sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's why I've decided to give it a go this time. So I do want a game to really get my teeth into.
Mm-hmm. Well, this will keep you going for a long time.
Yeah, have you had the ending spoiled?
Nope.
Good.
So don't do it. They all die in the end. Good night. One question, actually, because obviously John Marston's name is in this, and he was the guy from the first game. So is this set before the first game?
Yes, mate.
It is, yeah. I did sort of think, I recognise that name.
Yeah, and when you think the game's finished, you've got another 5 or so hours.
Yeah, that really got me. I was like, huh? But I just have very vague memories of just being blown away towards the end of the game. I'm not going to obviously spoil anything for you, but I don't want to
say anything.
So great.
If I say anything,
yeah, it's so great. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so the first one was really good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the
cattle herding for the win.
Yeah.
On donkeys.
Yeah. I remember when the first game came out, everyone was raving about it, and there's me in the corner playing Alan Wake because it came out the same day. Yeah, I was the
same, and then I got this because this came out May something. I think I got Alan Wake, and then I think I got Red Dead for my birthday in July. So I did get it like a month later, but yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Grand Theft Auto with cowboys? Nobody wants to play that shit.
So good. So good.
It was.
Yeah.
It's really, I played this like I mean, even though I got this like the week it came out, I still didn't play it for like 2-3 years.
I'm not surprised with you, Nick.
Well, I wanted to, but I'm so fat. I thought, well, I've got to finish this one first, and then I've got to finish this one first. Oh, and this new game came out, and it just gets lost. One day I will finish all the games.
Yeah. Cool, man.
But yeah,
cool,
and that's about it for me.
Cool. Nick, have played anything else?
Yeah, a few more on the my VR on the Meta Quest 3. I bought Creed Rise to Glory. I bought the full game, and it's okay. It's not as good. It's quite short. It's not as long as I thought it would be. And but yeah, it's I'm trying to think what to say. You know, I think you could beat it in like an hour or so, but obviously it's multiple replays. It doesn't follow the story of any of the movies, and Rocky Balboa's in it, and they've found the worst Sylvester Stallone impersonator to do it. I just think there's someone who said, "Oh, can you talk like this?" And they've just, all right, done it. And it's weird though, because I think they could update it and make it better. Because basically, you start off, you walk around the gym, you can do like your training and stuff, and then you speak to someone, you get a fight, and then you do training. And when Rocky gets it, it gets brilliant because you do a little training montage, and it plays the music from like Rocky 4, you know, like the training music. And the only thing, if it's, you have things like you run on the treadmill, so you just like wave your arms back and forwards really quickly, and you punch like the punching bag, and there's one where you just punch it as many times as possible really quickly, and then there's another one where you actually punch each like section of it, it lights up, and another one where like your boxer, your trainer, he'll have the pads, so you have to punch them in the combos and like duck and stuff like that, which is it's all good, but the problem is you do it for about maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and then you go on to a different one. So I'm like, no, I'd like to do this for like a couple of minutes training, rather than do like 15 seconds of this one, 15 seconds of this one, 10 seconds of this one, and then you do the fight. But how well you train is how much stamina you've got for the next fight. So it kind of matters. But then I think I only lost maybe one of the fights, because it doesn't matter too much. But it's also kind of weird where if you walk, because compared to the demo in this one, if you move the analog stick, you walk about, and I'm standing still, but I'm walking, and I feel myself like falling over and feeling dizzy, because your brain thinks you're walking, but your legs aren't. So I think it messes with like your balance. But yeah, I've gone through that. But the only thing I've gone through is just like the main story. There's another section called Legends, which, as far as I'm aware, it has all the the characters from the movie, like what you're showing now, Webby, like Club, like Mr. T, Apollo Creed, and all that. And why do you keep finding these videos with guys touching the testicles? I mean, that's just rude.
Well, it's just the algorithm, mate.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, right. I'm enjoying that. And another game. Well, basically, I finished 2 games, kind of, because they were in a sale in a May the 4th be with you sale. So you may guess what games they are.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars, yeah. So it's Vader Immortals, but it was in 3 parts, basically.
That's good, that is.
Episode 1, 2, and 3. But I got all of them for £8, which is actually quite a good deal. If I'd have paid £8 each for them, I think I'd have been pissed off. Because I've done the first 2 episodes. You can go through them in like less than an hour, like easily. I mean, there's also like there's a training section where you get loads of levels, like a horde mode where it like gets you how to use the game. But yeah, I've done the first 2 episodes, and it's kind of weird because you only see your hands. You don't see anything apart from which I think is a VR thing. But you start off, you're just like in a ship with your little droid woman who's your friend, and you're like a smuggler or something, and then the Empire nick you. And but it's weird because you're sitting in your ship, and she's like, "Oh, quick, we've got to go to light speed." You know, okay. She's like, "Flick the buttons." I'm like, "I can't see any buttons." Oh, there they are. So you flick the buttons up, and every time you like move something, like the controller vibrates and things like that. And you know, like in Star Wars, where you hold the handle, and then you have to pull it back to go to light speed. So you have to do all that. So you're like, "Oh, this is quite cool." But then obviously, Darth Vader and the Empire kidnap you because it turns out like you're like an ancient part of an ancient ancestry race, and he needs you to like open a door to get like a magic crystal for like immortality or something.
Right.
And I'm like, makes sense. Where's my fucking lightsaber? And I'm going through the game. Oh, there it is. And then you get your lightsaber, and obviously similar to Beat Set, but when you do it with Star Wars and you just like press the button and it like it makes the noise, and you're like, oh, that feels nice. And you're just walking around. It does do that. I don't know if there's a different setting, but it is like the teleport thing. Like, so you just like press forward with the analog stick, and then something like a little arc suit, and then you just teleport. And I don't know if there is a button where you can walk. And there's a few bits, obviously, you attack enemies and stuff like that. Like they're like, you know, like the robots with lightsabers, you fight those and stuff like that. And I haven't finished. I've done episode 2 of 3, so I want to finish the next one like this week. But it's good fun, but it's kind of hard to explain these games. These are the sort of games where you put the headset on someone and show them. You know, because if you just, you know, because it's the experience of just like with, you know, the boxing where you're just standing in the ring and you could just look around and stand around and see people. Do you see what I mean? It's VR. I think we're starting to get there. I think in the next maybe 5 to 10 years, this is just how people are going to be playing games.
I've done all 3 of those, but that first episode that came out on the original Quest, so it was quite early in the VR days.
Yeah, I don't know if that had updates later, because the next one seemed a lot better. The only thing I struggled with, Graham, I couldn't work out how to get up ladders properly. I got up to the top of the ladder, and it kept saying, "Nope, you're going the wrong way. No, you're going the wrong way." And I'm like, I'm at the top, so I went into the settings, which the settings is weird. Can you remember that, Graham, where you press settings, and you're in like a black void, but you've got like a big computer panel in front of you, and you actually press buttons in front of you as if you've got a ginormous touchscreen iPad. But yeah, there's a few.
I remember that first episode. That was actually one of the, when you say about it's something that you show people, it was one of the games that was showcased to me on my mate's Quest. And what I remember most from that is when you first have Darth Vader walking down the corridor towards you, and you realise how big he is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's different, but because I don't think I'm as tall as Vader should be, but I was like quite. But it's the same. I thought, oh, he's a big boy, isn't he?
Quite intimidating, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just because he comes. Obviously, the door opens and you just see him, his shadow, and then it comes clear, and he just does like that, and you're like, oh shit, and then he just like lifts you up by the throat, and you're like, oh, I don't like this.
But that was basically the game that made me buy the original Quest. As soon as I played that, I went, this is the future. This is. It was the first draw-dropping moment I've had in gaming for years. And I went out immediately and bought the Quest 1 for about 600 quid or whatever it was back in the day. And I've obviously had
every new Quest or Oculus, it always tends to be about 600-700 quid. And then within a year or 18 months, they make it cheaper but with more memory. And then, like, a year or two later, they bring out the next one. But do you not play that? Because I know you've got the PSVR.
Who's got the PS? I haven't got the PSVR. I've got the Quest 3.
I thought you had a PSVR. I could have sworn you had a PSVR.
No, I haven't even got a PlayStation.
Oh, you haven't then, have you?
No.
But Yeah, so you have to add me as your Quest friend. I've got one.
Wow, popular guy.
I want to get. Well, I don't really use Facebook, so it's hard to, get people because I think it uses your Facebook, and only one person on my Facebook actually had like a Quest account thing. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, because I don't know if what you say about some of the multiplayer games. Like,
yep.
if you maybe let me know some of the multiplayer games that would work.
Yeah.
Because my mate's now bought a Quest 2, so I just he said, do you recommend any games? And I just sent him 3 ones that are for Quest 3 just to piss him off.
Table tennis is always good in VR.
I tried that. I couldn't get on with it. It just kept saying foul. It was almost too realistic. Because, I know how to play table tennis, but it was your serve's too high, your serve's too low, you hit the table. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. But you get, I don't know if you ever got it, Frosty, you get the Quest Plus, the Game Pass version.
I do have it, yeah.
Yeah, because I got 3 months free with it, so I'm going to, if there's any games on there you recommend, maybe put them in. You're in the Discord, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe put some stuff on there, some
I think the VR channel on the Discord is my own channel.
It is, mate. Yeah, it is.
No, it's our channel. We can just have little VR chats on there, and then Webby will say we're playing VR Naked Uno or something.
Probably, yeah.
That's getting good though, Webby. I think you should try it though. Next time you get someone, because also with this one, I don't know if you got it, Frosty. I was tempted, but because my girlfriend uses it as well, you can get prescription lenses that go over if you wear glasses.
Yeah, I don't wear glasses, but I know you can get them. And everyone says they're really good.
Yeah, but then I don't know. Obviously, if I put them on every time we chop and change to take turns, then you've got to unscrew them or unclip them.
I don't think they I think they're magnetically just click in place.
Yeah, but I don't know if you clip them in the first time and then you pop them off. I need to re-look. I just didn't want to spend 50, 60 quid on lenses and then have to keep unscrewing them every time and worry I'm going to scratch them again, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I'll look in the VR chat and we'll talk later. But yeah, I'm enjoying that and the Vader Immortals and stuff. And like the start of the second one where you're going round with Vader. I don't know how the ending's going to go, but I'll find out this week. Have you played the other Star Wars game that's on there?
The Towers from the from the Rim or something, I think it's called, Beyond the Rim.
I thought it was Galaxy of something. I can't remember what it was called, but that was on a sale as well.
Galaxy's Edge, that's it.
That's the one, yeah, that was on
Towers
sale.
from Galaxy's Edge.
So is that the next one of those games? But because I know that you get the droids.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Oh.
But it's supposed to be pretty good. And I think it's done by the same people.
Oh, so maybe this is more of a full game. Because this does feel like a glorified tech demo rather than a full game. Each episode.
It's more an experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I think if I'd have paid £8 each, I think I'd have been annoyed. But £8 for the lot, I think is pretty decent.
I paid for them all separately at full price.
Yeah, but then if you were waiting for them to come out, you didn't have a choice, did you?
Yeah. No, that's it. I was looking forward to them because even though, as you say, they're only a couple of hours each, it's still a decent couple of hours.
Oh, I think they're worth a replay as well. But yeah, so what do you normally play? Do you play that a lot now, or do you not really play your Quest anymore?
I play my Quest quite a bit. I've spoken about it quite a lot on here when I've been on. I tend to, especially with the Quest Plus, as you say, you get 2-3 games a month, and then obviously a library that keeps changing in and out. So that obviously opens it up a lot more. But what I love, I've got all sorts. I've been playing Civ 7. I love VR in general. So, in fact, actually, the last one that I've been going through is, and I forgot about playing this, is the Titanic experience.
Oh, I saved that. Is that any good?
Yes, it's quite interesting. There's still bits of it that haven't come out yet, so I think on the PlayStation VR and the PC VR, there is the full experience of actually being on the ship when it sinks. They haven't got that in the Quest 3. That's coming soon, apparently. But I've quite enjoyed going down to see the wreck, and you're actually just swimming in a submarine without getting crushed.
Do you do any of the exercise ones?
Nah.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Because I want to get one of them, because I'm enjoying some of them, but I want to get some of the... Because I don't know if that happens all the time. I got an email to use to the end of the month, or the third, for like 30% off any game.
Yeah, you get that quite frequently, just randomly.
Yeah. I was just wondering, because I didn't know if that happens quite... if that's just because I bought a new one, if you see what I mean. I didn't know if that was just because I'm new.
No, it doesn't... It's random that I get them. I all of a sudden look and go, oh, got 30% off.
Yeah, but that's good, because I've added like games to my wish list, so like when I use that, and then I'll like leave them in the wish list, and when I get 30% off, because I don't know, I still don't like the idea of spending £30 on a digital only. Yeah, well, I know you can't put CDs in the Quest, but do you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you like Creed and you want a game to exercise with, Thrill of the Fight is the best one.
Yeah, that's one I'm going. I mean, that's only like £7 or £7.99 anyway, and they've got the second one. I think is in beta, but it's multiplayer only.
Yes, I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah, so I'm like, but if it's only going to be £8 when it's new, I don't know if I'd pay for it straight away.
But the boxing mechanics are better than Creed.
I did hear that. I mean, I did try some multiplayer games of Creed, and this was after I beat the game, and I'm going to use it as an excuse that I was tired. That's why I lost.
Creed's a bit more like Wii boxing.
Yeah, it's more animated.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think VR is the future. And I think, actually, I know that Webby has tried a few times and it's made him sick. But with the Quest 3 being able to run at 120 hertz, that will make a difference.
Yeah, that's standard now, isn't it? You can't toggle that off anymore.
Yeah, you can.
Because in my settings, I couldn't see 120 hertz mode.
Yeah, you can drop 72, 90, and 120.
Maybe. But I don't know. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. But maybe because like this one, because the Quest 3, because like I said, the one I played before was the PS VR, and that was just blurry all the time. Whereas this one, obviously, because it's like maybe 7-8 years newer, it's a lot better.
Oh, it's a good headset for sure.
Yeah, I think Webby will get like a VR in the next like 2 or 3 years, and then he'll just be a convert. And he'll change it to like the 360 VR podcast,
VR porn podcast.
I haven't done that, mate. I swear to God, I haven't done that because I don't know how to clear my browsing history on that, so I don't want to put that on there. I'll get myself in trouble. She say, "Oh, Nick," she said, "Nick, there's an internet browser on here. Did you know?" I'll be like, "No."
You might lose it to it.
Yeah, you have been replaced. Damn it.
Anyways, anything else?
Done, unless you got any more, Webby?
No, I've got a couple of bits of news that I would like to move to if you guys are done talking about games played.
Yep.
Right. Big news this week. Bungie have been at it again, haven't they?
Wow.
Stealing artists' work. Not the first time this has happened. I think it's about 4 times this has happened now. Yeah. So I noticed this. Basically, an artist put a post on Reddit and on the Twitter sphere, now X, saying that Bungie had stolen their work. So basically, the story goes that this person, their portfolio is online or something. I'm not quite sure the ins and outs, but most of the Bungie art team follow this person on Twitter. And obviously we had the Marathon Alpha. It sucked donkey balls. pretty much that art has been copied one-to-one and placed into the game. It is uncanny, the stuff that that I've seen online. It is pretty much a carbon copy. So not good. Not good, is it? So yeah, so they've been doing it. Just saying they've done this a few times. There was a few Kotaku articles I find. And the last time this happened, they promised they would give the original artists monies. Never happened. And also, what Bungie are also doing is if anyone brings this up in their official Discord, they're getting banned. Great way to go, Bungie. And they have come out with a statement saying that they are looking into this. And that is it. But from what I've seen online is pretty astonishing, really. The carbon copy of work is just you can tell. Pretty much the whole portfolio has been stolen and placed into the game. If you look at this picture I've put on Twitter here, I've put on the stream here, exact copy, pretty much. So, yeah, not a good look for Bungie, and it just goes to show how lazy they are, just copying people's stuff. So, yeah, I wanted to put that out there. Go on.
I did read that the morale in Bungie at the moment is absolutely on the floor, and this is big trouble for them.
Yeah, I mean, the morale was probably already on the floor because of, Arc Raiders, as the playtest went very well. The feedback for Marathon was pretty negative for the most part because it sucks. So I'm not surprised, mate, to be honest. Not surprised at all.
Mm.
So, yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Not a good look for Bungie, and I can't believe they didn't learn from past mistakes, because that is pretty insane to me that that's happened many times already.
I don't know how they thought they were going to get away with it.
I don't know, mate.
It's so one-to-one that you couldn't mistake it.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's absolutely insane.
You've got to think that someone did it and it went past the management level and they didn't realise.
Well, they're not paying attention, are they?
Just that too, but they just shows all their money.
Exactly, it just shows how much effort they're putting into that game.
Crazy.
Could it be the end?
Ooh, who knows?
Beginning of the end.
I think so. Just wanted to give a shout out. Just wanted to mention that for those of you that have PS Plus, getting a few new games very shortly. Sandland, which our very own Sensei Switch enjoyed. Soul Hackers 2, Battlefield 5. What's that other game? My eyes are getting awful. Five Nights at Freddy's, Stalker, Legends of the Zone, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. So some alright games coming to PS Plus there. So that's pretty cool. The biggest news this week going around was that apparently 89 million Steam account details were stolen. It's actually come out that this was not the case. There was not a breach of Steam system, so you do not need to change your passwords. However, I would recommend you use your two-factor authentication anyway, as standard for all of your accounts anyway. But it did go around the news that that Steam had been hacked for some strange reason. It went around, but that's been poo-pooed. So I just wanted to mention that to people who thought that might have been true. Last bit of news that I could find this week, being a bit of a slow news week really. Ubisoft shares have dropped massively as the earnings call came in. Their games have not been selling as well as predicted. Who, apart from Ubisoft, could not have predicted that one? So
how the mighty have fallen.
Indeed. You remember that piece of news that I talked about a little while ago, that they'd sold off Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and a couple of other franchises to Tencent? I wonder why.
Yeah.
So the stock has plummeted at Ubisoft. Loads of games have been delayed. Ubisoft are not looking to be in a great place at the moment.
I think we talked, because you think you posted something on Facebook and Discord, didn't we? A few people got upset. Not, because, which is right. We don't want, like, the lower level people at Ubisoft. A lot of these companies, sacking off people.
Yeah.
It's the poor middle and upper management doing stuff like that, and it's like the lower workers that are all getting. It's not just Ubisoft. I think Xbox have released loads, PlayStation. A lot of these devs are releasing people. A lot of these companies releasing people in hundreds and thousands a year at the moment.
Yeah.
And we don't like that, but it's the long problem in it. And like I say, with Ubisoft, all the good people at Ubisoft obviously went off to make different game, didn't they?
Like Expedition 33. Really well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously, too many, a normal thing with, businesses and that, it's just too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, Ubisoft have been going down the wrong track for many years, trying to chase the latest fad, bringing out loads of flops, games, not even releasing, because I have done quite a bit of game testing for them in the past, games that never even released, like, I played a Ghost Recon that never came out. I played, what was that? There was a few. There was definitely a Ghost Recon. What was the other one? Fucking hell. There was something else.
Maybe Rainbow Six something, possibly.
Yeah, it was Division Heartland. That's it. So there was a Division game that never came out. I played a Ghost Recon, and then there was games like Hyperscape that flopped. That Roller Champions, X Defiant, Brawlhalla. There's a few, there's been quite a lot of big flippy flop games. Skull and Bones, the first quadruple A game, massive failure. The last Prince of Persia game flopped. Assassin's Creed has flopped. The last Star Wars game, the list goes on and on, unfortunately.
It's not flopped as in, like, it's poorly for what they needed, for what they spent developing it.
Yeah, but the games have sucked as well, mate. They were shit.
I would say they're all, shite. Some of the Assassin's Creeds are okay. No, I'm not just saying that. But I'm saying it's not a game that you're gonna, when they're spending, 3, 4, 500 million making a game for like 5 or 6 years, it needs to sell 15, 20 million copies,
I know what you're saying.
Look at Alan Wake. It took almost 18 months for it to be profitable.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, mate, but, they've gone down, with a lot of games, they went down the wrong path. You know what I'm getting at. And
not just that, they want to make a game that sells loads of copies, and they don't really care if it's good or not. That's the you want to make a really good game that sells. They want to make a game that sells, and they don't really care if it's good. And they spend so much time arguing with people, trying to stop sending review codes out and embargoes the day of release, so no one can find out if the game's any good. So now people aren't pre-ordering because it's a track record. It's not something that's happened this last, year. It's been going for 5 years, 10 years. They've been slowly dropping.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Ubisoft were probably one of the best ones going 10 years ago, weren't they?
Yeah, 100%, mate. The Rainbow Six games were good, Splinter Cell, Ghost Recons, and they've just lost their way, unfortunately. We've talked about this multiple times.
Hopefully when they restructure and they just can get back to making decent games again.
That'd be nice, but I can't see it happening, mate. I think they're beyond the point of no return now.
Well, they'll probably double down, won't they?
Yeah. Yep, the next Star Wars will be featuring an obese fat woman in a wheelchair with a gun instead of a lightsaber. And
well, if they need me to do the motion capture, I'll do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that. That's all the news. Anything else you guys want to mention before we end? Been over 2 hours.
Yeah, just a quick one, like on Nintendo and stuff. They've had a few things this year. They've upset a few people. They're not giving out review units to anyone until like days before release.
Makes sense.
And they're well, normally they give it out weeks, or a month before. And I think a lot of the big boys, like even IGN and all that lot, are not getting them. I think it's more of a control thing because someone have leaked some info. I think you said it a few weeks ago, Webby, where it's not as powerful as people thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think they're also saying there's a big day one patch.
Right.
So they don't want people to review it before the day one patch because it won't be like a fair review.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all down control. And also they've apologised and backtracked. I don't know how important this is. You know more about this sort of stuff than me. That they said about the variable refresh rate.
Right.
That it hasn't got it where they said it did.
Right. Okay.
So, or it's got it in handheld mode, but not on docks mode.
Okay. Well, all right. Whatever.
Which they said it was a mistake. I'm like, well, no, I think you just. And a lot of people saying they just completely lied because they made a big thing, and I think it's more of a software thing than a hardware thing, so I don't know if they can patch it in later, but they've apologised for it. But I don't know how important that would be.
Okay.
Is that variable refresh rate?
Only
is
decent,
that
only high end TVs of that, and I'm.
Yeah. So that's only if you've got. So if you're buying a Switch, you've probably not got a really expensive TV like that.
You need like one of those high end OLEDs or whatever.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice to have the money, but here's what it is. Is that it?
There is one other thing that I saw online, which is that another Sony live service shooter could be in trouble before it's been released.
Oh, not Marathon then.
No, this one's called Fair Games.
Never heard of it.
So, do you remember Jade Raymond?
Who?
Jade Raymond. She was the face of Assassin's Creed when it first came out.
No.
So, obviously, she used to work for Ubisoft back in the day, but she started a new studio for PlayStation called Haven.
Okay.
And their debut game, called Fair Games...
I've just seen on YouTube. Yeah, go on.
Pitched as a modern take on a heist genre and a PvP sandbox, like extraction shooter and looting and hoarding. Well, apparently she has now left the company, and Sony hasn't even told the rest of the team why she has left. But they are concerned with how the game has been received with external testing. So, yeah, another live service Sony game that could be in a bit of trouble before it's even come out.
I mean, I'm just looking at the trailer from a year ago and it looks shite. So,
yeah, 2023 it was announced.
Jesus.
So it's been about for a little while. And yeah, she started up the company Haven and has left for unknown reasons.
Probably because the game is shite. It was all a scam to begin with, get some money out of Sony.
But yeah, she was, back in the day, she was like one of the faces that would turn up at E3 and show off Assassin's Creed. And so she's been around in the industry for a long time. I think she was at, what was that Google system? Stadia Games. Yeah, she worked for them as well.
Oh dear.
So another game that might be dead on arrival.
Bloody hell, Sony is bleeding money on these games, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think they need to just go back to the single-player story-driven games.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
that game you spoke about earlier coming to the PlayStation, that Legends of the Zone Stalker.
Yeah.
They're all enhanced editions of the originals as well.
Yeah. Old school.
Mm.
Awesome, guys. Well, I think on that note, we're at an end. 2 hours and 10 minutes. So thank you very much for coming on. It's been awesome as usual. So from all of us here, thank you very much for listening live on Twitch and for listening to the podcast in the usual way. So from all of us here, it's been emotional. We will see you next week. Goodbye.